Bonjour, good morning, moyenne section. Je suis Pauline. I'm Pauline, I'm your teacher. I'm your teacher this year. And although we are not going to be able to see each other just soon, but hopefully in a very soon future, we are going to be seeing each other behind the screen. And today, for your first day at school, your parents should have come back home with something like this. This is your kit. So in your kit, you have what will be your library bag, but for now there is different things in there, and a box. Yours might not be yellow, it might be blue or red, but normally we all have the same things in there. So you should find a whiteboard, une ardoise. And to go with this whiteboard, you have those crayons. You might not have the same color as me, but they are Stabilo markers. They are meant for you to write on your whiteboard. So maybe you don't see very well because it's pink, but with this one, yeah. So in order to erase, you just need a wet sponge and you can just wipe it, okay? So it's just like a regular marker, except that it's made of wood instead of plastic. So with your whiteboard and your markers, you also have some markers of all kinds of different colors in that little box. Yours might not be green, but you have a little tray like that. You also have a pair of scissors and some chalk in there. Yeah. In your little box, you also have another little box with what we call play corn or play mice. They are those little balls, very, very light, that you can press, and if you wet them, they become sticky and you can stick them to each other. For now, we're not going to be playing with them, but we will very soon. You should also have those little furry caterpillar. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 petites chenilles. You should have 6 of those. You also have a brush that I don't know where I put mine, but it should be in there. A brush and a painting stick. This one is great because you don't even have to dip it in paint. You can just dip it in water and use it to paint. It works. You should have an empty glass jar that we will use next week to make a music instrument out of it. You should have also a little transparent pocket. I don't have a pocket, I have a box instead, but you have the same thing as me inside. There is some beads. In those beads, you have some very big beads, some middle-sized beads, and some little ones. You should also have 2 strings and some pegs. Yeah? Then, next in that box, you should have 3 little tubs of paint. Blue, yellow, and red. You should also have, in this little yogurt container, some of that little crepe paper. And then, you have 2 little pockets. Une petite poche rouge, a red one. Inside of the red one, you have some feathers, some pompons, some Q-tip. You should also have a few of different size and different colors, little sticks, some glitter, and some of those colored matches. And that is all that you should find in that red little pocket. In your green pocket, so this is like your art pocket, and this one is your math pocket. In this pocket, you should have some cards. Yours are probably different than mine. You all have different ones. But the point is, there is different numbers on them. There's different things, and they're all different numbers. So for example, this one has 1, 2, 3 little dots. And this one has 7. With your little cards, you should also have some shapes. Different size and different colors, shapes. You should also find a dice and some little coins like those. Yeah? All right. We've seen everything that's in that box. We are going to be looking now and making sure that everybody's got everything in their little library bag. So once you take your bag, you should find a few things. You should find one big notebook, un cahier. In this notebook should have only white pages, and you can use this to draw. Whenever you feel like drawing, draw in there, and then make sure that mom and dad or somebody else writes when, the date of when you draw that, and maybe you can even tell them what is it that you draw, and they write it down under so that we remember when we look at it together. In your little white bag, you also have 2 small notebooks. This one is a big one. This one is a small one. Those 2 notebooks, you're not going to touch them yet, because one is going to be our Cahier du Nombre, which is our number book. So we're going to be doing some number activities in there. And the other one is going to be our Drawing Myself book. So we're going to learn how to draw ourselves, putting everything we've got in our body when we draw. So we're going to learn how to do that together. Now, in your little pocket, you also have 2 sheets with lines on both sides that are in plastic. They are going to stay in plastic for now because we are going to practice with our little markers to do the line inside, to be able to do straight lines. But we're not ready yet to practice with those. We have a whole new scaffolding of things before we get to this. So for now, you can play with it and you can practice, but there is so many things to do before we are able to do that. So don't worry if you can't do it yet. You also have in your little bag some papers. There is some color papers and some white papers, and that we will use when we do our art project next week. You should also have a plastified sheet with numbers written on it, and on the other side you have shapes. You also have your name somewhere in there. Same thing, this one is gonna stay in plastic. Normally yours is plastified completely because we're gonna be learning how to write our name. So you can practice whenever you want, but I will help you learn how to write your name this year. Now, in your little baggie, you should also have une frise numérique, like all the number lines. There should be 2 of them from 1 to 10, and you should put them up somewhere, either in your workspace or in your bedroom, so that you can see them and play with them every day. You also have what do you call that in English? Sorry, I forgot. A little snake and ladder game that you can play with whenever you feel like. You have a dice and you have little coins that you can use, or you can take little toys to make them move, but it's always good practice. You also have 2 little printed sheets. Where is the number 1 and number 2? Where is the other one? What have I done already? It's here. You have 2 things with our buddy Trotro here. He's gonna help us learn all year round. And he is playing with ants. So you should have those, and we will take care of those later. You should also have 3 little pages with shapes that we will use when we play with our little play corn here. We can stick them on to do our shapes, but that is something we will do sometimes later. You also have some coloring to do, just because we're gonna learn how to color without going out of the lines. And you should also have a snake, because that's gonna be a game we do next week as well, and a lotto of shapes, because we're gonna be playing with those and learning all of our shapes. Now in there you also have our friend Trotro and un cartable, a backpack for school with behind a lot of school supplies. So this is a game we'll be playing later on next week as well. Now you also have two little things from Miss Andrea. One small paper that's rolled and inside there is an elephant that she will explain you what you're going to do with it. And last but not least, another one with some little papers, colored paper in there. So those are Miss Andrea's project and she will explain you what to do with it. But I hope you find everything I've showed you in there and let me know if there is anything missing. I'm so excited that we'll soon be learning a whole lot of things together. All right, so I'll see you tomorrow and have fun discovering your box.